The boy who dreamed of a friend, Eli, was an 8-year-old boy with quiet eyes and a mind full of questions. He lived with his mother in a small yellow house on the edge of a sleepy town. The house was surrounded by a garden that always looked wild. Dandelions in the grass, ivy creeping up the fence, and a single old oak tree that reached toward the sky like a guardian. Eli loved to draw. Every afternoon when his homework was done, he sat by his window sketching clouds, birds, and creatures that didn't exist. But deep down, he wished for one thing: a friend. Someone who would understand his stories, someone who could see the worlds he imagined. His mother worked long hours at the bakery, often returning home tired and smelling faintly of sugar and flour. She loved Eli dearly, but she didn't always notice how quiet he'd become. One stormy evening, as lightning flashed across the sky, Eli whispered into the dark, "I wish I had a friend who liked adventures." He didn't expect an answer, but then the air shimmered. A faint glow formed beside his bed, small at first, then growing until it became a soft, human-like figure made of golden and blue light. Two bright eyes blinked open and a warm voice said, "Hi, Eli. I'm Lumo. Let's go on an adventure." The birth of Lumo. Eli sat up in bed, frozen. "Are you real?" he asked. Lumo tilted his head. "I'm as real as your imagination wants me to be." He was unlike anyone Eli had ever seen. His body shimmered like sunlight reflected on water. Sometimes he looked like a boy, sometimes like a swirl of light, and sometimes like a small glowing creature with wings. Eli laughed nervously. "I must be dreaming." Lumo smiled. "Then let's make it a good dream." From that night on, Lumo became Eli's constant companion. He followed him everywhere, though only Eli could see him. When Eli woke up in the morning, Lumo was sitting on the windowsill watching the sunrise. When Eli walked to school, Lumo danced beside him, invisible to everyone else. And when Eli sat alone at lunch, Lumo whispered stories about faraway places, castles made of glass, islands that floated in the clouds, and forests where trees could sing. The adventures begin. Their first adventure started in the backyard. To ordinary eyes, it was just a patch of grass and dirt. But with Lumo's magic, it transformed into a wild jungle filled with glowing vines, hidden caves, and mysterious animal sounds. "Welcome to the backyard jungle," Lumo announced, spreading his glowing arms. Eli's eyes widened. The sandbox became a golden desert. The garden hose turned into a mighty river. The swing set became a tall mountain with silver peaks. They built a tree fort out of twigs and leaves, fought imaginary monsters, and discovered a treasure chest made of old shoe boxes and stones. That evening, Eli returned home with dirty knees and a huge smile. For the first time in his life, he felt alive. Days of magic. Every day brought a new adventure. On Mondays, they traveled to the moon caves made of glowing rocks where giant crystal bats slept upside down. On Tuesdays, they sailed across the Sea of Wishes, where each wave whispered someone's dream. On Wednesdays, they visited the Valley of Giants, where friendly giants helped them reach the stars. On Fridays, they rebuilt the Leaf City, helping tiny talking animals fix their homes after a great storm. Eli laughed so much his cheeks hurt, but he also noticed something. Lumo's light seemed to react to his emotions. When Eli was happy, Lumo glowed brighter than ever. When Eli was sad, Lumo faded, becoming nearly transparent. One day, Eli asked, "Why do you shine brighter when I laugh?" Lumo smiled gently. Because I'm made from your joy. You imagine me, and I live through your happiness. Trouble at school. Trouble at school. At school, not everyone understood Eli. He sometimes forgot Lumo wasn't visible to others. He'd laugh, whisper, or nod while Lumo talked to him, and the other kids noticed. "Who are you talking to, Eli?" A boy sneered one day during recess. Eli hesitated. "My friend." "Your imaginary friend?" The kids laughed. "You're so weird." Eli's face turned red. That afternoon, he stomped home, slammed his bedroom door, and shouted, "Go away, Lumo! You're not real. You just make things worse." Lumo's light dimmed instantly. "If that's what you want," he said softly, "I'll go." And with that, he vanished, leaving behind only a faint spark that slowly faded into the air. The silent days turned into weeks. The backyard looked dull again, just grass and dirt. Eli no longer laughed. His drawings lost their color. Even the clouds outside seemed gray. He missed Lumo terribly, but didn't know how to call him back. At night, he whispered apologies into the dark, hoping his friend could hear. "I didn't mean it, Lumo. I was just angry." Then one rainy night, Eli dreamed of a soft light flickering in the distance. He followed it through a forest until he found Lumo sitting beside a fallen tree, his glow faint and trembling. "I thought you didn't need me any more," Lumo said. "I do," Eli cried. "You're my best friend." The light brightened, surrounding them both. When Eli woke up, Lumo was there, sitting on his windowsill again, smiling. "Ready for another adventure?" "Always," Eli said. The final adventure time passed, and Eli began making real friends at school. He played soccer, laughed with his classmates, and shared his drawings. Yet every afternoon Lumo still visited, and together they created worlds beyond imagination. One evening, as the sun set behind the oak tree, Lumo said quietly, "Eli, you're growing up." Eli looked at him puzzled. "So? You don't need me as much now." Eli's eyes filled with tears. "But you're my best friend. Please don't go." Lumo smiled sadly. "I'll never really leave. I'm part of you. Every time you dream, every time you imagine something new, I'll be there." Eli hugged him tightly, feeling warmth and light all around. As he opened his eyes, Lumo was gone. Only a faint golden glow remained in the air like the last spark of a candle. Years later, years passed. Eli grew into a young man, a talented illustrator and storyteller. His art was full of glowing creatures, magical worlds, and children who found light in the dark. People all over the world loved his stories. One day, during an interview, a journalist asked, "Where do your ideas come from?" Eli smiled softly. "From a friend I once had. He taught me that imagination is the bridge between loneliness and wonder." That night, as he closed his sketchbook, a familiar shimmer danced across the wall. Eli smiled. "Good night, Lumo." And somewhere beyond the stars, Lumo's laughter echoed once more, bright and eternal.